How could you leave us? Leave your daughters for years without a word?
I'm sorry. I didn't know how to come back.
Blake Whitfield walked into that bakery for a wedding cake. He walked out questioning everything he thought he knew about his life. Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into this story, drop a comment and tell me what country you're watching from right now. I love seeing our global family. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button because trust me, you don't want to miss how this unfolds. Blake never did small errands. CEOs of billion-dollar empires don't pick up wedding cakes. They send assistants. But his fiancée insisted he go himself. Something about it being romantic. He agreed just to stop the argument. The bakery sat on a quiet street in Brooklyn, far from his Manhattan penthouse. The door chimed when he pushed it open. Vanilla and sugar filled the air. Handwritten thank you notes covered one wall. A crooked chalkboard listed prices in pink chalk. He barely noticed any of it. His mind was on the merger meeting tomorrow, the wedding in 3 weeks, the prenup his lawyers were finalizing. His phone buzzed in his pocket. Probably his fiancée again, asking about cake flavors. Then he looked up, and his entire world stopped. Behind the counter stood a woman with her back to him. Dark hair pulled into a low ponytail, slim shoulders. She was writing something in a notebook. She turned around. Blake's breath caught in his throat. Cassandra, his ex-wife. The woman who vanished from his life 5 years ago without a trace. No forwarding address, no phone number. Just divorce papers delivered by a lawyer and complete silence. He'd hired investigators. They found nothing. It was like she'd been erased from existence. And now, she was here, standing 10 feet away, alive. Real. Her face went white. Her pen slipped from her fingers and clattered on the counter. For 3 seconds, neither of them moved. Neither of them breathed. Time folded in on itself. 5 years collapsed into nothing. Blake. His name left her lips in a whisper. Before he could respond, before he could process what he was seeing, a sound shattered the moment. Little feet running. A child's laughter. A small girl burst through the door behind the counter. She couldn't have been more than 4 or 5, pigtails bouncing, clutching a piece of paper covered in crayon scribbles. Mommy! Mommy! Look what I drew! The girl ran straight to Cassandra and wrapped her arms around her leg. Blake stared at the child. Dark, almond-shaped eyes. Korean eyes. His eyes. The room tilted, his vision blurred at the edges. His heart hammered against his ribs so hard he thought it might break through. That little girl looked exactly like him. Blake couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't think. The little girl noticed him. Her smile faded. She pressed closer to Cassandra's leg and stared up at him with those familiar eyes. His eyes. Sweetheart, go back to the playroom for a minute, Cassandra said. Her voice was calm, but something underneath it trembled. The girl hesitated. But Mommy... Now, Lily, please. The child nodded and disappeared through the back door. Her footsteps faded down a hallway. Silence filled the bakery like water filling a sinking ship. Blake's mouth opened. No words came out. His throat had closed completely. Cassandra crossed her arms over her chest. She didn't look away, didn't blink. Just stared at him with an expression he couldn't read. What are you doing here? Her voice was flat, empty. Blake's voice cracked. He cleared his throat. Wedding cake. My fiancé wanted... Your fiancé. Cassandra's lips twisted into something that wasn't quite a smile. Of course. Blake's hands were shaking. He shoved them into his pockets. Cassandra, that little girl... is none of your business. She has my eyes. Lots of people have dark eyes, Blake. Don't. His voice came out sharper than he meant. Don't lie to me. Not about this. Cassandra's jaw tightened. She looked toward the back door where the child had disappeared. When she looked back at Blake, something in her face had changed. The walls had gone up higher. You need to leave. Is she mine? Leave. See, now. Cassandra, you lost the right to ask me anything 5 years ago. Her voice cracked on the last word. You walked away. You chose your empire over everything else. Over me, over us. So no, Blake. You don't get to walk in here and demand answers. Blake took a step forward. Cassandra took a step back. I didn't know, Blake said. His voice dropped to almost a whisper. I swear I didn't know. You didn't want to know. There's a difference. The words hit him like a punch to the gut. Because she was right. During their marriage, he'd been consumed by work. Endless meetings, business trips, late nights at the office. He'd barely been home. Barely noticed her pulling away until she was already gone. How old is she? Blake asked. Cassandra didn't answer. Cassandra. Please. How old? 4.5. Blake did the math instantly. His mind raced backward through time. 4.5 years old meant Cassandra was pregnant when she left him. She'd known. She'd walked away carrying his child and never said a word. Why didn't you tell me? Cassandra laughed. It was a bitter, broken sound. Tell you? Tell the man who barely looked at me for 2 years? Tell the man who missed our anniversary 3 times? Who forgot my birthday? Who slept at the office more than he slept at home? Each word was a knife. You didn't want a family, Blake. You wanted success. You got what you wanted. Before Blake could respond, the back door opened again. But this time, 2 little girls came through it. Blake's heart stopped completely. Twins. 2 identical faces. 2 sets of dark almond eyes. 2 small bodies in matching overalls. The second girl was shyer than the first. She hung back by the doorway, thumb in her mouth, watching everything with wide eyes. Mommy. Emma's scared of the man, the first girl, Lily, said. Blake couldn't breathe. The room spun. His vision tunneled. Not 1 daughter. 2. He had twin daughters, and he'd known nothing. Missed everything. First steps, first words, 4.5 years of birthdays and scraped knees and bedtime stories. Gone. Girls, go back to the playroom, Cassandra said. Her voice was firmer now. I'll bring you cookies in a minute. But now. Lily took Emma's hand and led her sister back through the door. Emma looked over her shoulder at Blake one last time before disappearing. The silence that followed was suffocating. Blake sank against the counter. His legs wouldn't hold him anymore. Twins. Yes. My daughters. My daughters, Cassandra corrected. You weren't there. You didn't earn them. The words should have made him angry. Instead, they just made him feel hollow. Empty. Like everything he'd built over the past 5 years meant absolutely nothing. I want to know them, Blake said. I want to be their father. No. Cassandra, you think you can just walk in here and claim them? After 5 years? After building your perfect life without us? Her voice rose. You're getting married, Blake. You're moving on, so move on. Leave us alone. I can't do that. You don't have a choice. They're my daughters. They don't know you. They don't need you. We've been fine without you. Better than fine. Blake looked around the small bakery, at the worn counters, the old cash register, the chipped paint on the walls. Is this fine? Working yourself to death in a bakery? Wrong thing to say. Cassandra's eyes flashed with anger. This bakery is mine. I built it from nothing. It's paid for. It's stable. It's ours. And yes, Blake, that is fine. Better than fine. Because it's real. It's not built on 100-hour work weeks and missed moments and broken promises. Blake felt sick. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't change anything. Let me try. Please. Let me be part of their lives. Why? So you can disappoint them the way you disappointed me? So you can promise to show up to their school plays and soccer games and birthdays and then never come? So you can teach them that work is more important than family? I've changed. Have you? Cassandra's voice was deadly quiet now. Or are you just feeling guilty because you got caught? Blake didn't have an answer for that. Blake's phone buzzed in his pocket. He ignored it. It buzzed again and again. Probably his fiancée, probably wondering where he was with the cake order. The cake. He'd completely forgotten why he came here. I'm not going anywhere, Blake said. Not this time. Cassandra's laugh was cold. You don't get to decide that. They're my children. Biologically, sure. But that's where it ends. You weren't there when I threw up every morning for 3 months. You weren't there when I went into labor at 37 weeks. You weren't there when Emma stopped breathing her first night home and I had to call 911 at 3 in the morning. Blake's blood ran cold. What? She's fine now. But you didn't know that. You didn't know any of it, because you weren't there. Each word was a hammer blow. When they ask about their father, you know what I tell them? Cassandra continued. I tell them he's away. Working. Because that's what you always were. Away. Working. Even when you were home. Blake felt something break inside him. I was building something. For us. For our future. We didn't need an empire, Blake. We needed you. The back door creaked open slightly. Lily peeked through. Mommy? Are you okay? Cassandra's face softened instantly. Yes, baby, I'm fine. Close the door, sweetheart. The door clicked shut. You want to know the worst part? Cassandra's voice dropped to barely a whisper. For the first year after I left, I kept hoping you'd find us. I kept thinking maybe you'd realize what you lost. Maybe you'd come looking. Maybe you'd fight for us. She paused. Her eyes were wet, but no tears fell. But you didn't. You just moved on. Built your empire bigger, got engaged to someone new, lived your life like we never existed. Blake wanted to tell her that wasn't true, that he'd tried to find her, that he'd hired investigators, but the word stuck in his throat because the rest of it was true. He had moved on. He had gotten engaged. He had lived his life. I didn't know about them, Blake said again. It sounded weak even to his own ears. Would it have changed anything if you did? The question hung in the air like smoke. Blake opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. I don't know, he finally admitted. And that's the truth. I don't know. Drop a comment right now. Would you have done things differently if you were Blake? Or was Cassandra wrong for keeping the twins a secret? I need to know what you think because this debate is wild. Cassandra nodded slowly. At least you're honest about that. But I know now, Blake said, and I'm not walking away. Not again. You're getting married in 3 weeks. Blake's stomach dropped. He'd forgotten. Actually forgotten about his wedding. I'll cancel it. Don't do that for us. I'm doing it for me. Cassandra stared at him. You're going to cancel your wedding. For daughters you just found out about. After 5 years of not knowing we existed. Yes. Blake, that's insane. Is it? Is it insane to want to fix the biggest mistake of my life? You can't just snap your fingers and fix 5 years. Then I'll spend the next 5 years trying, and the 5 after that if I have to. Cassandra shook her head. You don't understand. It's not just about you wanting to be here. It's about them. Lily and Emma, they have a routine. They have stability. They're happy. Without a father, without you, there's a difference. Blake flinched. That's fair. They ask about you sometimes, Cassandra said quietly. Lily more than Emma. She wants to know why other kids have daddies and she doesn't. You know what I tell her? Blake didn't want to know, but he needed to hear it. I tell her that her daddy loved his work more than he loved being a daddy, and that some people aren't meant to be parents, they're meant to be successful. The words cut deeper than anything else she'd said. That's not, Blake started. Isn't it? Cassandra cut him off. You worked 18-hour days. You traveled 3 weeks out of every month. You missed every important moment because there was always another deal, another meeting, another opportunity. So yes, Blake, you loved your work more. The evidence speaks for itself. Blake had no defense because she was right. Every word was true. People can change, he said weakly. Can they? Or do they just say they will until the next big opportunity comes along? Blake's phone buzzed again. He pulled it out and silenced it without looking. Then he powered it off completely. What are you doing? Cassandra asked. Proving something. Turning off your phone for 5 minutes proves nothing. It's a start. Cassandra crossed her arms. What do you want from me, Blake? Seriously. What do you expect me to do? Let you waltz into their lives and play daddy on weekends when it's convenient for you? No. I want to be a real father every day. Not just weekends. You have a company to run. I'll delegate. You have a life in Manhattan. I'll move. You have a fiancé. Not after today. Cassandra blinked. You're really going to throw away your entire life because of one conversation in a bakery? Yes. Why? Blake looked toward the back door. Toward where his daughters were playing. Daughters who didn't know him. Who didn't need him. Because 5 years ago, I threw away the wrong life, he said, and I'm not making that mistake twice. Cassandra was quiet for a long moment. Blake could see her processing, calculating, trying to figure out if he was serious or just having a temporary crisis. You can't just decide to be a father, she finally said. It doesn't work like that. Then tell me how it works. Tell me what I need to do. You need to leave. You need to go back to your life. You need to marry your fiancé and forget you saw us. That's not happening. Blake, I can't forget them. I saw them for 30 seconds, and I can't forget them. They look like me. They have my eyes. They're my daughters. How am I supposed to just walk away from that? The same way you walked away from me. The silence that followed was crushing. Blake took a step toward the counter. Cassandra didn't back away this time. I know I don't deserve a second chance, Blake said. I know I have no right to ask for one. But I'm asking anyway. Not for me. For them. They deserve to know their father. Even if their father is a screw-up who doesn't deserve to know them. They're doing fine without you. Are they? Or are you just telling yourself that? Cassandra's jaw clenched. Don't you dare! Lily asks about me. You said so yourself. She wants to know why she doesn't have a daddy. That's not fine, Cassandra. That's a hole in her life. A hole I put there. A hole you'll just make bigger when you realize being a father is harder than signing business deals. Maybe. But at least I'll be trying. At least I'll be there. Cassandra looked away. Blake could see her fighting with herself. Wanting to say yes. Wanting to say no. Wanting to protect her daughters from potential disappointment. If I let you into their lives, she said slowly, and you hurt them. If you make promises you don't keep. If you disappoint them the way you disappointed me, I will make sure you never see them again. Do you understand? Yes, I'm serious, Blake. One mistake. One missed birthday or broken promise. And you're done. I understand. You can't just show up when it's convenient and disappear when work gets busy. I won't. You can't buy their love with expensive gifts and trips. I know. They need consistency. Stability. Not a part-time father who drops in once a month. I'll be there every day if you let me. Cassandra studied his face, searching for cracks, for lies, for any hint that he'd break his word. I don't trust you, she said. I don't blame you. But they deserve a chance to know you. Even if I think you'll let them down. Blake felt something loosen in his chest. Not relief, not yet, but hope. The smallest spark of it. Thank you. Don't thank me. Prove me wrong. Cassandra's voice was hard. Prove that you're not the same man who chose work over family. Prove that you've actually changed, because if you haven't, Blake, I swear I'll make you regret ever walking into this bakery. Blake nodded. I will. We'll see. When can I meet them properly? Blake asked. Cassandra hesitated. Not today. Why not? Because you just turned their entire world upside down and you don't even realize it. They saw a stranger make their mother upset. They're confused. They're probably scared. Blake hadn't thought about that. I didn't mean to. I know. But that doesn't change what happened. So when? Cassandra pulled out her phone, checked the time. Saturday. Noon. There's a park 2 blocks from here. Bring coffee. Black, 2 sugars. And don't be late. I won't be. If you're even 5 minutes late, I'm leaving, and I won't give you another chance. I'll be early. Cassandra nodded. She started to turn away, then stopped. Blake? Yeah? Don't tell them you're their father. Not yet. You're just a friend. Someone Mommy used to know. Let them get comfortable with you first. Blake wanted to argue. Wanted to claim his place as their father immediately. But Cassandra was right. He had to earn it. Okay, he agreed. And Blake, one more thing. Yeah? Emma doesn't talk much. She's shy, really shy. It took her speech therapist 6 months just to get her to whisper. So if she doesn't talk to you, don't push. Don't take it personally. That's just who she is. Blake's heart clenched. His daughter needed speech therapy and he didn't even know. Is she okay? She's perfect. She just processes the world differently than Lily does. Lily talks enough for both of them anyway. Blake managed a small smile. Saturday. Noon. I'll be there. Cassandra nodded and disappeared through the back door. Blake stood alone in the empty bakery. The vanilla and sugar smell suddenly felt overwhelming. His phone was still off. His fiancée was probably losing her mind. His assistant had probably called 15 times. None of it mattered. He walked out without ordering a cake, without looking back. His car was parked at the curb. He sat in the driver's seat and just breathed. He had daughters, twin daughters. Lily and Emma, 4.5 years old, and in 4 days he'd meet them properly. Blake turned on his phone. It exploded with notifications, texts, missed calls, voicemails. He ignored all of them except one. He dialed his fiancée's number. She answered on the first ring. Blake, where have you been? I've been calling for— We need to talk, Blake interrupted. Can you come to my office in an hour? Your office. Blake, what's going on? Did you get the cake? No, I didn't get the cake, and we need to talk. In person. There was a pause. Are you breaking up with me? Blake closed his eyes. Yes. The line went dead. He sat in his car for another 10 minutes. Then he drove to his office, called his lawyers, told them to cancel the wedding, cancel the prenup, handle everything. Then he called his assistant. Clear my schedule for the next month. Sir, you have the merger meeting tomorrow. Cancel it. The board meeting on Thursday. Cancel it. Mr. Whitfield, you can't just— I can. And I am. Clear everything. If something's urgent, delegate it. If it can't be delegated, it waits. He hung up before she could argue. For the first time in his entire career, Blake Whitfield put his family first. Saturday morning, Blake woke up at 5 a.m. He hadn't slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw those 2 little faces. Those dark eyes. His eyes. He got to the park at 11. An hour early, bought coffee from the shop across the street. Black. 2 sugars, like Cassandra asked. Got himself one too. Sat on a bench and waited. 11:15. Still early? 11:30. Getting close. 11:45. Any minute now. 11:55. His heart was hammering. Noon. No sign of them. Blake checked his phone. No messages. No calls. Had she changed her mind? Was this a test? Was she punishing him? 12:05. Blake stood up, paced, sat back down. 12:07. Mommy, why are we running? Blake's head snapped up. Cassandra was speed-walking toward the park, holding both girls' hands. Lily was skipping to keep up. Emma was being half-dragged, her thumb in her mouth. Sorry, Cassandra said when she reached him. Emma's shoes disappeared. Took us 20 minutes to find them. Blake handed her the coffee. You're not late. I was just early. Cassandra took the coffee. Took a sip. Her eyebrows raised slightly. You remembered. Black. 2 sugars. Something flickered across her face. Then it was gone. She looked down at the girls. Lily. Emma. This is Mr. Blake. He's an old friend of Mommy's. Can you say hello? Lily looked up at Blake with those familiar eyes. Hi, Mr. Blake. Are you really tall or is everyone else really short? Blake laughed, actually laughed. I'm really tall. Like a giant? Sort of. Cool, Lily grinned. She had a gap between her front teeth. Emma stayed behind Cassandra's leg, peeking out, silent. Blake crouched down to their level, made himself smaller, less threatening. Hi, Emma. Emma didn't respond, just stared at him with huge eyes. She doesn't talk much, Lily said matter-of-factly. But she's really good at drawing. Want to see? I'd love to. Lily dragged Emma toward the playground. Cassandra and Blake followed at a distance. You came, Cassandra said quietly. Of course I came. Most men wouldn't have. Blake didn't know what to say to that. So he just watched his daughters. Lily climbed the jungle gym like a monkey. Emma sat in the sandbox drawing patterns with her finger. She draws when she's overwhelmed, Cassandra explained. It helps her process. What's she overwhelmed by? You, this, everything. Blake's chest tightened. I'm sorry. Stop apologizing and just be present. So Blake did. He sat in the sandbox next to Emma. Didn't talk, didn't push. Just sat there. After 5 minutes, Emma looked at him, really looked at him. Then she went back to drawing. But she didn't move away, and Blake counted that as a win. 3 weeks passed. Blake showed up every single day. Some days they went to the park. Some days he helped at the bakery while the girls did homework in the back room. Some days they just sat together and colored. Lily warmed up fast. She talked non-stop. Asked a million questions, climbed on him like he was playground equipment. Emma was different. She watched, she listened, but she didn't talk until one Tuesday afternoon. Blake was helping Lily with a puzzle. Emma sat nearby, drawing as always. Then she stood up, walked over to Blake, and handed him her picture. It was a drawing of 3 people, a tall figure, 2 small figures, all holding hands. That's us, Emma whispered. Blake's throat closed up completely. Those were the first words she'd ever spoken to him. It's beautiful, he managed to say. Emma smiled, a tiny, shy smile. Then she went back to her corner. Cassandra saw the whole thing. Blake looked at her. She was wiping her eyes. She's never drawn you before, Cassandra said quietly. She only draws people she trusts. Blake looked at the picture in his hands. 3 figures. Holding hands, but something was missing. Cassandra wasn't in the picture. That night, Blake stayed after the girls went to bed, helped Cassandra clean up the bakery. We need to talk, Cassandra said. Blake's stomach dropped. Okay. They're getting attached to you. Is that bad? I don't know yet. Cassandra wiped down the counter. Lily asked me yesterday if you could come to her birthday party next month. What did you say? I said maybe. Because I don't know if you'll still be here next month. Blake stopped sweeping. You really think I'm going to leave? I think you're capable of it. You've done it before. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. Aren't you? Cassandra turned to face him. Your assistant calls you every day. Your board has been trying to reach you for weeks. Your company is falling apart without you. How long until you decide the empire is more important than us again? That's not going to happen. You don't know that. Yes, I do. How? Cassandra's voice rose. How can you possibly know that? You've been playing daddy for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, Blake. That's nothing. Wait until it's been 3 months, 3 years. Wait until you've missed sleep for weeks because Emma has nightmares. Wait until you've spent your entire Saturday at a 4-year-old's birthday party pretending to enjoy it. Wait until the novelty wears off and it's just hard and exhausting and boring. I won't leave. You don't know that, Cassandra shouted. Then she caught herself, lowered her voice. You don't know that, and I can't let them get hurt because you think you've changed. Blake set down the broom, walked over to her, stopped 3 feet away. You're right, he said. I don't know for sure. I can't prove the future. All I can do is show up, every single day, until you believe me. Cassandra's eyes were wet. And if I never believe you, then I keep showing up anyway, because they deserve a father. Even if their mother doesn't trust him. Cassandra looked away. This is so messed up. I know. I hate that you came back. I know that too. I hate that they love you already. Blake's heart stopped. They love me? Lily does. Emma's getting there, and that terrifies me. Because when you leave, Blake interrupted. If I leave. Not when. When, Cassandra insisted. When you realize that being a real father is harder than you thought. When the next big business deal comes along. When you remember why you chose work over family the first time. I chose work because I was an idiot, Blake said. Because I thought success meant money and power. I was wrong. Success is watching Emma draw pictures. Success is answering Lily's 10,000 questions. Success is this, right here, not a boardroom. Cassandra studied his face. I want to believe you. Then believe me. I can't. Not yet. Okay, then I'll wait. 1 month later, Lily's 5th birthday party. 20 kids screaming in a park. Cake everywhere. Chaos. Blake showed up at 8 a.m. to help set up. Stayed until 9 p.m. to help clean up. Didn't check his phone once. When the last kid left, Lily ran up to him. Mr. Blake, did you have fun? Best party I've ever been to. Really? Her eyes were huge. Really? Lily looked at Cassandra, then back at Blake. Then she said, Mommy? Can Mr. Blake be our daddy for real? Time stopped. Cassandra froze. Blake froze. Emma stopped drawing and looked up. Baby, that's complicated, Cassandra started. But he comes every day, and he's nice, and he makes you smile. And Emma drew him in our family picture. So can he be our daddy? Blake looked at Cassandra. Cassandra looked at Blake. That's up to your mom, Blake said quietly. Lily turned to Cassandra. Please, Mommy, please. Even Emma nodded, still silent, but agreeing. Cassandra's eyes filled with tears. She looked at Blake, really looked at him, searching for something. Whatever she saw, it must have been enough. Yeah, she whispered. Yeah, he can. Lily screamed with joy and jumped on Blake. Emma smiled her tiny smile, and Blake held his daughters and cried for the first time in years. Cassandra stood a few feet away, arms crossed, guarded, but smiling. Blake met her eyes over Lily's head. Thank you, he mouthed. Cassandra didn't respond, but she didn't look away either. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, but it was a start, and for Blake Whitfield, for the first time in his life, a start was enough. If this story hit you right in the feels, smash that like button right now. Drop a comment and tell me, Team Cassandra or Team Blake? Should she have told him about the twins from the start, or did he deserve to miss out? This debate is insane, and I need your take. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we're dropping stories like this every single week, and trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Sometimes the biggest success in life isn't what you build, it's who you build it for. I'll see you in the next one. Stay blessed.